Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers, and a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
It's Florida in February. Kick off 2023 with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and Dirt Car UMP Modifieds February 6th through the 11th. World of Outlaws late models and Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds February 13th through the 18th. Tickets and camping at dirtcarnationals.com. February 6th through the 18th at Volusia Speedway Park. Be there.
History repeats itself. History is always happening over and over again. So one of the ways to stop a theme, one of the ways to stop something from reoccurring is to first of all admit it. It didn't take long for us to quickly realize that there was power behind Mission 22, power behind its brand, power behind its message, and power behind its people that represented it.
All right, my friends, day 19 of 22, the 22-day push-up challenge. Day 19 means 418 men and women have possibly committed suicide in the last 19 days. I went and looked up my ship, the USS Rushmore. More people who have killed themselves by now than ever served on our ship at one time in just 19 days.
19, 20, 21. One more. Y'all ready for the last one?
Mission 22 has become a decentralized nationwide effort to show love, to raise money, to be available for other warriors, to be able to be a point of contact, to let the warriors know, but also for warriors to let other warriors know that there is a community. You're not alone. This isn't happening in silence. You're not forgotten. We brought 4 veterans from all different parts of the United States and brought them together to hike through the state of Oregon.
May God bless you on your journey. Thank you for serving our country and for being willing to go on this walk. I'm praying you feel peace and strength with each mile.
On this hike, some folks found God, some folks remained sober, some folks lost a significant amount of weight to be able to participate. And not so much just a healing walk for us as warriors, but for us to contribute to other people's healing. This hike, we raised $12,000 for endobiogeny. Some of the folks on this hike, they're going to be volunteers for this treatment. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud because it was difficult. We had a lot of struggles. Not everything on this hike went pretty, but we put some skin in the game. At the end of the day, we were able to raise money and we'll be able to use that money so guys can get the treatment that they need. The War at Home Monument is an example of our social impact, of our awareness, of our permanent fixture to do the work that we can't always do, to always remind us of what we've lost and what we will lose if we don't reconcile it. What we've done is taken 20 different veterans with their family's permission and used them as a silhouette to cut out of a 3,000-pound plate of steel. These warriors are placed in a V, and this is to show the size of the problem. This is to show the empty space they leave behind. And it's also to be a constant reminder of what happens when we don't listen to the stories of the warriors that fought in our name. Because it's not okay. It's not okay that everyone didn't know about veteran suicide. It's not okay that these things were a secret or left unsaid, or that it was shameful. It's not okay that it's shameful to suffer alone and suffer in silence, because if you ask for help, that you're no longer a warrior, that you're weak.
Yeah. So I come back and I thought everybody else changed. So I pushed my family away. And it took a long time to really realize it because I didn't want to look internally.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the air tonight. We have a super special treat for you. We are here at the Coast2Coast Racing League in their Winter Nationals. So it's a charity event to raise money for child cancer research. So looking super forward to this. Tonight we got 3 C mains and 4 B mains. So it's going to be quick. We're going to get through this fairly quick, which is my favorite. I like to keep things moving. Again, welcome to Got Your Six Racing Network. As always, we are racing for awareness of veterans issues. 22 veterans a day take their own life, which is 22 too many. So throughout the night, you may see us play promos from organizations out there doing great things for veterans. If you can donate, that would be awesome. If not, you know a veteran, maybe you haven't heard from them in a while, you reach out and let them know you appreciate their service. You might save a life with that conversation. In the booth with me tonight, super blessed. My good friend John Hine is with me in the booth. John, welcome to the show. What do we got to look forward to?
Well, I tell you, we got some high-stakes racing here. These guys are all going home here, so every lap counts, every position counts. They need to transfer through the soup, to get to the main event here for tomorrow night. And I'm going to tell you, we've got some Renegades drivers lined up here for this C main here in the 305. So there's going to be no shortage of excitement at any point in time tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at the field, and I was kind of surprised when I logged in at some of the names I'm seeing that are going to try to race their way in tonight. They got a long way to go, but that winner of the final tomorrow could come from tonight. It's very possible seeing the names that I'm seeing on the board right now.
Yeah, especially with a little bit longer races tomorrow, and so yeah, there's some guys in here that could definitely win the 305 main event tomorrow.
I see 9 on my board currently. I'm seeing 8 that transfer, if I'm reading that right. So it looks like 1 so far will head home from the first 305 division. This is a fixed 305 division. We're going to have, like I said previously, we will have 3 C mains, 305 sprint cars, 358 mods, and the 360 sprint cars. Those will be followed by the B mains, 305, 358, 360, and big block mods. Again, all drivers tonight trying to race their way into the big show on Thursday. So all the drivers, a little extra something on the line tonight as we're getting ready to line up here and get after it.
Yeah, and you know what, we've got like touched on different cars here and everything else. So some of these drivers are going to have to do a lot of adjusting through the night. You know, they're going to be in here maybe a little bit later in that 360. Those two cars, it's like almost apples to oranges. They drive completely different. What you can get away with them in them, that's totally different. So some of these guys are going to really have to step it up and be on their toes tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting out of a midget and climbing into a late model. It's kind of be the same here.
Yeah.
With the mods and the sprint cars. And so we're getting ready for our first show here. Ross Correnta on the front row with Jeff Baker Barker to his outside. Terry Landis, Barry Goldner in row 2. John Rayner, Steve Maurer in row number 3. Gary Siegelcow, Pat Boyce in row number 4. Bradley Wright rounds out your field of 9 drivers. John, anyone stick out from your list of drivers here?
Oh yeah, front row, Terry Landis, Barry Goldner. That's the top 4 are all Renegades drivers, so they're some of our top tier guys. So yeah, this is pretty unusual to see these guys this far back, but they're going to have to make sure they're mistake free here. You know, if you're in a solid transfer position, you've got to be very careful to not make any mistakes. Don't put yourself in a bad spot. Don't put somebody else in a bad spot where you could probably get taken out. Yeah, tonight is a night. Tonight's a night that you've got to run just as much with your head as you do your right foot.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, 1 is headed home, so I think that's accurate. As the pace truck rolls off, we are getting ready to go green. We are underway. The 10 car of Ross Correnta on the inside hugs that inside wall. Jeff Barker in the 513 Marine Machine pulls up to his outside. Terry Landis, he's on the bottom side. He's looking underneath the 513, trying to get underneath Barker. The race that is most important here is the 814 of Bradley Wright, currently running in P9. Gary Siegelcow in the 25 is on the bubble there as the 25 goes down, or the 814 goes down low. He gets by Siegelcow.
Yeah, Gary's running a little wide there. The track, and now Gary's going to go right back, and whoa!
Slides between 2 of them. Holy smokes. Ross Correnta getting away from the field. Jeff Barker in P2. We're nose to tail at Volusia. Barry Goldner in the 36 car. He is running P4. Steve Maurer in the 888 machine. That rounds out your top 5. Pat Boyce running in P6. John Rayner. Now Bradley Wright moving up through the field. Bradley Wright has moved up to the inside of John Rayner, John.
He has, and that pushes Rayner a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Siegelcow to kind of close up a little bit on Rayner. And these cars right now with as much tax in the track, they're all running almost identical times here. So closing up is going to be really hard to do here.
Gary Siegelkow looking for a way around. He is currently on the outs here. Let's go on board as he pulls up to the rear tail tank of John Rayner. Doesn't get much closer. Siegelkow looks like from his onboard, he's going to make the pass. They were side by side at the line. It will be Siegelkow into turn one. Rayner fighting back on the outside in the 302 machine. Make a little bit of contact. Rayner around. Now we got to worry about lap traffic, John.
Yeah, you know, and that's something I was watching Siegelkow. He was really throwing that right rear out, and that was really costing him speed, but really cost John Rayner there as he kind of did stick that out a little bit. I mean, no fault of his own, just as how he's driving, close racing, and sometimes that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, these guys using this for a test session, I would imagine, at this point. If you're running up front, you don't want to run too hard, but you also want to get a good feel for the track, I would think, huh?
Yeah, you do. You want to take notes, kind of try to figure out what. Listen to your lap times right now would be really important. You know, run above just right above the slick. Listen to that time. Go up into the cushion. Listen to that lap time. If you don't have a whole lot of pressure like first and second, even run the bottom and see what kind of times you're getting down there. But that group behind first and second, they don't look too content just following each other. They're kind of keep looking and below each other and everything else here.
You know, every week, no matter what league I'm broadcasting, I always say, you're in a safe place, just ride. Race car drivers don't ride well.
No, a lot of the times, and hey, guilty as charged myself, you know, that proverbial visor goes down and common sense goes out the window.
One to go. Corintha coming off of turn number 2 in that 10 car. He's going to punch his ticket to the B main coming off of turn 4. It will be Corintha, Barker, Landis, Goldner, Maurer, Pat Boyce, Bradley Wright, Gary Siegelkow, and John Rayner will head home. So, John, we'll take a quick break here as we transfer over to what's coming up next, the 358 mods. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a quick break. We'll get back as quick as we can. So we'll be right back.
Yes, that's why. So we'll just give them a quick brush, and then we'll get our stuff on, and then we have like an obstacle course. And so
I'm smiling.
You don't know why you're smiling. We always smile. Smiling's the best.
The Mission 22 Equine Program is a riding program for children of veterans. We also serve grandchildren or direct family members of veterans.
It's a lot of fun, and I've always loved horses. So.
We have private lessons and group lessons, but it's not just riding. You know, riding lessons, people just think that that's all it is. But we have the opportunity here to really build confidence, to lower stress levels, to give them an outlet and opportunity to spend time doing something healthy and productive. Mission 22 is really based on the foundation of the importance for family. It's why we're supporting families here. So in a time where kids' programs are being canceled left and right, school is shut down, they're not able to be around their friends, you know, being able to have an opportunity where they can just be together and let go of that stress and be around people. Again, honestly, it's just really that simple, being around people. You know, who would have thought that it was something as simple as that?
That's okay. You want to grab his reins, and then I'll have you walk him forward. It's really a special thing to watch these kids come every week and build a partnership and a relationship with their horse. It lets them forget about everything that's going on in life, being able to come here, kind of shut the world out a little bit, and have a really stress-free, fun environment.
There's tons of studies that have been done on lowering of cortisol levels of children, and especially with children of veterans, often growing up in a household that can be a more stressful place, to be able to have an outlet where they can be outside, fresh air, horses around them, and just growing in that confidence.
Horses are really unique. They're very intuitive to people. They're very emotionally intelligent, they're very emotional animals, very in tune to people. They have a great way of reading people as well, that they can pick up on if you're feeling nervous or scared or excited. They're very reflective to how you feel. And so it's a great way to kind of check in with yourself and see how you're feeling, because they'll let you know.
When you're riding bareback, it's really important to think about keeping your thighs nice and snug.
Watch your spacing. Remember 1 to 2 horse lengths in between. Nice work. Yep, then you're gonna go through the blue barrels and you can weave through them and you can walk through them.
Before we came to Central Oregon, we were based out of Portland. So we were renting an office in the city, we were having to pay to board horses, and it was getting to be exceptionally expensive. And so what it came down to was an opportunity to have a facility that we could grow programs out, that we could have the equine program on our own property that we can continue to operate during a time that nobody really knew kind of what was happening next. And so having our own facility gave us the freedom to continue serving the families that we care about.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get a quick word with the top 3 from the 305s that you just watched on the track. Coming home in 3rd place was the 61 of Terry Landis. Terry, this is Joe. You got me?
Hey, Joe, go ahead.
Man, that was a pretty good show. Walk us through the night. You guys got nose to tail pretty quick. And John and I were talking in the booth. Was that time that you start figuring out where you're going to run and kind of testing the track?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing towards the middle of the race. I just started hunting around. I was watching relative box, and I didn't want to mess Barry up, so I was trying to keep my laps kind of, simple. But I was just searching around, and I couldn't catch those guys for nothing.
Man, to see all the way to the main event, you got it in you?
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
Right on, man. Great run in the 305s. We'll see you again later on tonight.
All right, Joe, thanks.
Yes, sir. My great friend and the driver of the 513 Marine Machine, Jeff, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, Joe, what's up, bud?
Man, it's great to see that 513 again. It's been quite a while, my brother. First of all, thank you for your service in the Marine Corps. How was your run there in the 305s?
It's pretty uneventful.
Yeah, everyone seemed to get nose to tail pretty early. Did you use that time to figure out where you might run in the B?
Yeah, I wandered around a little bit, try to check some different lines out, see what's going to happen, and just going to have to wait and see if anybody bobbles in front of me in the B. It's going to be real hard to pass.
Yeah, that's kind of the what we saw. Once they got nose to tail, man, it's going to be your starting position is going to be gold here coming up in that B main, man. But I think you got it in you to drive that 513 to the feature tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to that, man. Great run in the 305s.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, man. And the winner of the 305C main, Ross, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, how'd you find a line that nobody else found? You seem to get out in front there and kind of put a gap on the field. Did you find a particular line you liked?
Yeah. I mean, obviously people watching could see I don't really want to give my secrets out if I don't have to. But no, the cut down started to work there at the end. And obviously in those cars, momentum's key. So starting on the pole and being able to get out front right away is huge in those. So that played to my advantage quite a bit.
Yeah, I was just going to get out a notebook. You can tell me your secrets after we're off the air. I might be able to use that later.
Sounds good.
Great run by you, man. Good luck in the B.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. There are your top 3. We are back here at Volusia with the 358 modifieds. Currently, 8 drivers in the field is what I'm counting. John, welcome back. So we've changed cars. Gary Sigokow is in this one also. So is Ross. So we got some of the same drivers have switched up cars. So like we were talking previously, man, that could be a handful trying to move from one car to another.
Yeah, you got to learn, unlearn everything that you just figured out. You know, Ross said he found a line there. Well, this car, it might be a different line, so it's right back to school for him, and he doesn't have a lot of time to figure it out. You know, these are shorter races. There's not a heat race to kind of figure things out or a B main. They're, we're gonna practice here, and here shortly we're gonna just turn them loose, and they're gonna go racing.
Yeah, man. And if if the field stays at 8, everyone will transfer. I would think that would be a great time to test this track in the
Oh yeah,
358, as they are totally different. Of course, then
yeah,
again,
but
every position you finish
yes,
towards the front improves your starting position in the B. So, yeah, I
yes,
don't
I
know.
was just about to say that. The more cars you pass here, or better yet, the more cars that are behind you here, the more cars are going to start behind you in that next round. And you don't want to mess around trying different things, lose a spot or two, and then you end up being in a whole row or maybe even 2 rows back from where you would have been. So you still got to be careful here. If it gets strung out like what we saw this last one, that's going to give you opportunity. You can probably move around without a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, the car's out on track. It is the 014 of Greg Boydell at the top of the speed board here with a 17.001 for his best time. Ross Correnta, we just talked to him. He's in P2, so that transfer from car to car didn't make a difference to him. Pat Boyce is third, Brandon Wright fourth, Keith Abbott, Barry Goldner, and Steve Maurer round out the 7 drivers that have taken to the track in the 358 modifieds.
Yeah, and these cars are a lot of fun. They usually put on good racing because you can usually get more than one line going with these cars. So, if guys are really hell bent on moving up and getting the best starting spot they can, they're going to probably have some options in these cars to do so.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan until I really started driving them, and they are a ton of fun. Man, the throttle control that's required is totally different than anything else that I have seen. So that was kind of a challenge to get used to. But once you get used to it, man, they are a ton of fun.
Yeah, especially the big blocks, and a lot of that, like the late models, the rear ends of those cars move around so much, and that's just how they're built. But these things have I guess I should say, a more stiffer rear end, and so it's a lot easier to spin the tires in these, and you can't hang them out. Everybody, a lot of dirt cars, a lot of guys make the mistake of just really pitching them in and getting them sideways and driving them out. But these cars, they go faster the straighter they are.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy who doesn't turn his wheels in the corner, he comes
Yep.
out on top. So you got to figure out your entrance just right and where you get back on the throttle on exit. So, yeah, it can be hard, but oh man, what fun.
Absolutely.
As the cars are still, Greg Boydell at the top of the board with a 17. All
And
right,
they
we're
are doing
back.
the
I just
drivers
had to download the dice roll, so I'm not sure what that's about. Hopefully, Roger comes back in, gives me a little class here. 36 is wrapping up. That's Barry Goldner. His best lap is a 17.172 for that 36 machine. Roger Craig, he's out on the track. No wonder he's not giving out lessons on this dice roll deal. The Bassman in the 747 car with a 17.343. Good enough for 8th quick in practice. Drivers are getting final instructions before we get out on the track. 25 car, Gary Siegelkow is back with us. He's 9th quick. So we do have 9 drivers in the field. 1 will be heading home, John.
Yep. So ramp up the pressure here. We saw just slight contact ended John Rayner's bid for a spot there in the 305. So a little bit of contact that puts you behind there a little bit. You're done for.
As we are getting ready for the cars to grid. 014 of Greg Boydell will start on the pole as we're waiting for Bradley Wright to grid, who will be outside the 014. There he is in that 814. Barry Goldner on the inside of the 888 of Maurer in row number 2. Roger Craig in the 747 and Keith Abbott in row number 3. Ross Correnta has not gridded yet. However, to his outside will be Gary Zickelkow. There is the 10 car, and Pat Boyce in the 41 will roll off at the tail end of the field. This is going to be fun, John. We got 15 laps to get it done as the pace truck rolls off.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this one is I think Boydell and Sigelkow are really the only two in here that I see on a weekly basis when we run these cars in our weekly division. So you would think that might be a little advantage for those guys, especially with Greg being on the pole. So I would definitely keep an eye out for him once the thing goes green.
I was thinking the same thing. That 014 is pretty stout in a 358 mod. The other guys like you, I have not seen run a lot. As the pace truck makes its way to pit road, green flag is out. We are underway. 15 laps. 8 cars will transfer, 9 in the field. 1 will head home. And it looks like a battle back there as the 41 of Pat Boyce gets by the 25. 25 into the back of the 741. Those two make contact. Keith Abbott in the 741 now behind the 8 ball. He's got to catch up to the field.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of time to do it. And these guys, again, we got a pretty fresh track here. Everybody's going to be going the same speed. Basically, Gary just can't afford to make any kind of mistake here.
That 10 car is looking good. He's moved up 3 from the start, as has the 41 of Pratt. Oh, Ross gets super loose coming off a 2. That was close.
Yeah, I bet you that got his attention, and he might be a little more content to maybe be where he's at just to move on here.
Contact again by the 25. Gets into the side of the 888 of Steve Maurer. Now Sigelkow will move to the back of the field. Greg Abbott is the first car that, or the last car that will transfer in, John.
Yeah, he needed a Sigelkow to have an issue, and well, that happened here, and Steve Maurer goes really wide there in 3 and 4. So now it's Sigelkow looking on the outside, looking in.
Roger Craig battling it out with Pat Boyce. Boyce is not content moving up 4 from the start. That Pabst Blue Ribbon machine is wound up on that bottom side, trying to get underneath the 747 up the Bassman, Roger Craig. This is one of those where you think just ride. Now Correnta's going to get involved. We may go 3 wide off of 4. Roger Craig backs off, lets those 2 cars have at it. Pat Boyce now up 5 into 4th place. Canadian driver, the 014 of Greg Boydell, has his countryman Barry Goldner right behind him. It is Canada at the front of the field. Bradley Wright in the 814, currently running in 3rd position. Pat Boyce, now him and Ross Correnta are going to go at it.
Yeah, and someone needs to remind these guys they're safe where they're at, but we've touched on it. You pass more guys here, the less you got to pass a little later. So Gary Sigelkow has kind of backed away from, has lost touch with this pack here. So these guys don't have that slim margin for error here. They can afford to dice it up a little bit if they get themselves into trouble. As long as they don't hit anything hard or damage their cars, they should be good.
And Abbott and Maurer were battling it out, and Keith Abbott in the 741, he kind of backed off a little bit. I wonder if that's a product of knowing that he will transfer into the B main. Up front, that 014 has set sail. He's got over a 1.5-second gap between himself and Barry Goldner in that 36 machine. On lap 12 of 15, we are nose to tail. We are spread out around Volusia. Roger Craig's about to have company. Steve Maurer trying to get to the rear bumper of the 747. We'll go on board with Steve Maurer as he pulls up. Craig down low, gets a good run off. Maurer came down low as Roger Craig was coming up. You got to be careful.
Yeah, this is a track where that happens a lot, especially coming out of turn 2. So you really have to have your spatial awareness really at a high level here a lot of the times when you're racing door to door. But it's a pretty good battle for 4th, too.
We got 3 cars under a blanket. Greg Boydell coming off at turn 4. You're not missing anything up front. Goldner will finish 2nd. 41 car, Pat Boyce into the wall at the flag stand. He will finish P4, up 5 positions. We will get an interview. You like that, John? It's that California education coming in. We will get an interview with your top 3 before we head off the break.
Yeah, that was a nice little run there. Fairly clean for the most part, but those guys got to have their work cut out because that doesn't get them in the show. They've still got the B main to work through. A little bit stiffer field. They got more cars they're going to have to pass, especially Greg. He started with a clean windshield, nobody in front of him. In fact, he saw nobody in front of him the whole race. When he gets to that B main, he's going to have traffic immediately, and I don't know where he'll line up, but he may even be out of that cut line to make the A. So he may still have to work his way forward once he gets there.
Yeah, and we all know the advantage of clean air in front of you, when you don't have to battle all those cars. Yes. And in the B main, man, that's it. That's for all the marbles to transfer. So I would anticipate some pretty stout competition in the B main. We will get a word with your top 3 here momentarily.
Maybe we just do what we did and go to commercial, and if they shoot in, we can just interview them in that little practice session before the race.
Now I'm afraid to go away. I learned my lesson, I thought.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we will actually head to a break, John. So we'll take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. If the drivers come into the, there's Greg Boydell. So we do have your winner currently in the picture. Let's get a word with Greg Boydell in the 014. Started on pole, led every lap. Greg, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Man, that's how you get it done right there. That 014 was on rails. You opened up over a 1.5 second lead to second place there, man. What was the key?
Just being smooth. Just gotta treat that throttle like there's an egg under.
Yeah, John and I were talking, man. There's not many better in 358 modified. Do you think you have anything for him in the B main?
Yeah, I guess we're starting, 9th? So we got to just make up a position or 2, and I think we can do that. Just keep doing the same thing as did last time.
All right, man. Keep digging.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, man. Bradley Wright in the 814 brings it up, finishes on the podium. Bradley's Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, good run. That 014 kind of crept away from you there. Did you learn anything from watching the line he was running?
I absolutely did. I'm still trying to figure these cars out, more the sprint car side, but I've been struggling all week, so I'm just happy to make it on the podium.
Yeah, man, you're in the B main. You're going to have competition get stiffer from here. So later on here tonight, you get through that B main, you're heading to the big show, man. Great run in that 814. You got any sponsors you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. I have Be the Light Thrift and Gift here in my hometown, and Bake Your Mark Frozen candies, my daughter does, and my mom, Betty Haynes.
And where is your hometown?
Weeping Water, Nebraska.
Weeping Water, Nebraska. Well, welcome to the show, man. We will see you in the B main.
Yep, and thanks to Roger Craig and everybody putting this on. It's a great cause, and thank you to you guys for putting on a good show out there.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Yep, thanks.
Barry Goldner in the 36 machine. He moves up one from his start. Barry, this is Joe. You got me?
Yep, go ahead.
Man, great run. We were just talking to Bradley about watching lines here up front. Did you learn anything from that run that you can use in the B main?
I think so. I was just I've been struggling the last couple nights. I just all my bandy belt guys have been telling me to calm down and drive the car a little straighter, and I tried to do that.
It seemed to work, man. You kept it up front right behind the 014. I'm not certain where you will roll off on the B main, but you're going to have a lot more company. So keep her straight, keep patient, and drive the 36 into the feature, man. Who do you want to thank on that 36 ride for a podium finish?
Well, I want to thank all the bandy belt guys. They all help me out a tremendous amount every week. So good shout out to them.
All right, man. We'll see you in the B.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
So there you go, John. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the 360 sprint cars, I believe. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I, and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers. And a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
It's Florida in February. Kick off 2023 with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and Dirt Car UMP Modifieds February 6th through the 11th. World of Outlaws Late Models and Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds February 13th through the 18th. Tickets and camping at dirtcarnationals.com. February 6th through the 18th at Volusia Speedway Park. Be there.
name's Nick Powers, and I'm the president and lead instructor of Warfighter Scuba. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps from the years 2003 to 2007, with one combat deployment to Haditha, Iraq in 2006. Throughout my time overseas, I experienced a lot of situations that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself in the United States. IEDs, getting shot at, rocket attacks, mortar attacks, you name it, it happened. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, I tried to adjust back to civilian life, and the whole time you're in, you just can't wait to get out. And when you get out, you start to realize, did you make the right decision? 9 times out of 10, most of the guys that get out, they immediately plummet into a depression cycle because you don't have that structure anymore that the military provides you. And this hit me super hard. We moved to one of the #1 top dive destinations in the entire world, and I figured I'd start getting back into scuba diving. And after the first couple dives, I realized how peaceful it was underwater and how none of my problems followed me. You're just there in the present moment. I had the idea for Warfighter Scuba, and I kind of hinted at it, and they said, "You go for it." And that's basically how Warfighter Scuba was born. So Warfighter Scuba is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS. We bring combat wounded veterans down to the Caribbean to teach them scuba diving to treat their wounds. Whether their wounds are physical or mental, such as PTSD, scuba diving is a extremely therapeutic activity for mental stressors and for physical ailments. Mentally, as soon as you go underwater, your body just reacts. It's not normal. You're not meant to breathe underwater. Automatically puts you into the present moment. You have nothing but peace and calm. This ability to separate yourself from reality really allows veterans to find out what their trigger mechanism might be for their particular mental stressors. So every veteran who comes through our programs gets a 100% funded trip. Each veteran also receives a round-trip ticket from their home of record. That ticket will bring them straight into Roatan, and their entire week stay, their hotel, their meals, their snacks, everything's paid for. And so that veteran can get an entire week away from reality and completely separate from any kind of problems they might be facing at home. So each veteran receives very private and intimate training sessions when they come down to Roatan. We first start in the pool. We do some confined water skills. We'll then switch out to the open water dives. From that point on, it's not even training anymore. It's just fun. It's learning on a level that I don't think most people have experienced before. We do all the certifications for them that we can in a week at their pace, from open water to full face mask to nitrox. Every trip that we have, whether it's one veteran or 4 veterans at a time, we just have a blast. There's no bad karma. We've seen sharks, we've seen turtles. We've seen 4 eagle rays at once. Just the things that happen when we're in the water together are truly, they're just unbelievable. The dedication that these vets have now to scuba diving and to wanting to come back and to help other veterans experience what they've experienced. It hits me in the heart more than most things have ever hit me in my heart. It's truly an honor to take these heroes into the water. It's really cool to see the transformation that happens to them, from being, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I've gone snorkeling a few times, or I'm not that good of a swimmer. And the funny thing about scuba is none of that matters. You're completely weightless in the water. You could come down and have 0 experience in the water and be one of the better scuba divers out there. So as with all nonprofits, we rely solely on generous donors such as yourselves. None of these programs could exist without people who are willing to give some of their hard-earned money up to save veterans who might be struggling with everyday life and have that unfortunate thought of suicide. 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the veterans. I personally, myself, I do not take any kind of money. All my time is donated. There's no salary to anybody who's on the board or any staff positions in Warfighter. Donations can be made on our website at www.warfighterscuba.org. And remember, every donation is 100% tax deductible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a little bit of an extended break here as we have some technical difficulties that we're trying to work out. So bear with us. The 360 Sprint Car C Main is coming up. We're going to take an extended break here while we try to get everything situated. So stick with us, and we will be right back.
I'm Chris Jakimick, and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Throughout my military career, I spent the bulk of my career out in Las Vegas. It was the first job I had as I was protecting some sensitive resources out there at Nellis. I would deploy to Kuwait early on in my military career with a larger weaponry system to support Operation Southern Watch. And then from 2003 to 2006, I was part of the emerging drone mission for the United States Air Force and Department of Defense. We were fighting the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan from our backyard. You'd be in war for 12 hours of your shift, and then you'd drive home to your apartment here in Nevada. So psychologically, it was very odd. Like, you felt you were in the combat zone every day because you were seeing it on the screens and it was that important, but I don't know what it did to the human psyche at the time. Some things would kind of happen in my personal life after that would change a lot. When Adam joined the Marine Corps, it was a natural fit. Anybody who joins the military, especially after 9/11 happened, you're looking for that purpose. I think that's why he made the choice. It's like, let me go be a Marine. He was in between Fallujah and Ramadi during the heaviest parts of the fighting of the Iraq conflict. I mean, you hear guys like Jocko and everything talk about like the triangle of death. My brother was dead set in the middle of the triangle of death with a Marine unit. I think it changed him. Like, you look at everything across history, you read any of the books out there, war changes anybody that's been involved with it. Trauma or mass events like that changes anybody, and it really changed my brother. And I get that call. I get the text actually from my stepmom. It's like, I need you to call me as soon as possible. Something's wrong with Adam. All right. Didn't think anything of it. And I'm about to pull off the highway to go celebrate and have some pizza with my classmates. And she's like, Adam's dead. Adam's dead. He had died by suicide that day. 25th of July, 2017. And it changed my world forever.
I think that was the first time I saw or heard someone broken through the phone. There was a time where I was concerned that he wasn't going to make it. There were times I thought, we're going to have to camp out outside of his house, or we might get that phone call. Are we ready for that phone call?
I couldn't catch a break. A fellow first sergeant I served with, he had died by suicide. On the day of my buddy's funeral, I'm going through social media, and I see this, what appears to be a manifesto from one of my old airmen. My first thought was like, today's not going to be a good day. And sadly, my hunch was right. He had killed his own family and taken his own life on the day of my buddy's funeral. It was just compounding trauma after trauma after trauma. I cracked. I fell hard with alcohol. That was rock bottom. I first heard about Mission 22 just by like surfing the internet and looking on there and seeing some of the programs that they had available. I was like, something seems right about this. To be in a program like the R&R program with them and the innovative things that they're putting together, I have not seen in any other veteran nonprofit. It's putting all this stuff together to heal in the most effective way possible. They're making you do a lot of the hard work through reading, through audiobooks, through physical fitness, through nutrition, open discussion, critical thinking, neuroplasticity and cognitive feedback to where you're developing the brain more. It's given me a chance to regain my life. Cycling's been a big part of my recovery. Is around the time I retired, a little over a year ago, I set forth, as like, let me set this goal to ride 2,020 miles in 2020 for another veteran nonprofit that supports Gold Star families and those lost either to accident or to suicide. Every time I got on that bike, I was like, you know what? There's a name, there's a dash that I'm gonna honor today. Not the dates on the gravestone. Is like, I'm gonna honor that life. So it gave me purpose. And it just became like a release for me to where the pedals would spin and I would get out of my head for a little bit. Physically, I was starting to feel better. I could see the improvements, and I've tracked my data over the past year, and it's phenomenal on the growth that I've had on a bike.
He's just on a mission and is relentless about it. Every day he pushes it from the loss of his brother and a number of different trauma that he had gone through in his life. It was absolutely critical for him to find something that he could sink his teeth into. I think he's taken the ball and run with it with Mission 22, especially the R&R, the recovery and resilience part. I think it makes him stronger in the person that he is today.
I don't know why I fell on the bike. It was just like, okay, it called to me, and then I kept going. So that scene from Forrest Gump where he just starts running one day and it ends up in Monument Valley in Utah? He's like, I'm tired, I think I'll go home now. I'm not tired yet. I'm not ready to throw the towel in like Forrest Gump did. I'm getting on that bike and I'm keeping on going because there's something about it. There's something about just getting out in nature, having that breeze in your face and seeing some of the beautiful landscape here in Las Vegas where it takes you away from the stressors and the challenges of the world for a little bit. And you can just appreciate the beauty that is out there and be in the moment. And then it got serious because the Air Force enrolled me in the Air Force Wounded Warrior program and it got transformed into Lo and Behold training.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here at Volusia, John and I. It looks like a new session is up. If you are in a 305 session and there are not very many cars in there, please go back in and look for the 360 session that 360, not 305, my apologies. It currently has 7 drivers on my list. So yeah, if you're in a session, there are not very many cars in there. There is another session, so please go back in and see if you can't get into that new session.
Yeah, some of the drivers in this session are Isaac Salas, Joseph Grandy, Brian Lawson, Dean Reynolds. So if you're out there and you're looking to come in, just make sure you look for those drivers, and then you'll know that's the right one.
So Isaac Salas is actually at the top of the board. The driver out of North Dakota has put his 360 at the top of the board. 13.469.
Yeah, there's some names in this one with Grandy and Salas.
Once again, I am so surprised, John.
Absolutely. It tells you, I've always said in our broadcasts that, that's a neat thing about C2C. There's no give-me's. Each one of our divisions are very closely contested. Just because you're leading the points or you're a perennial favorite to win doesn't mean you can even make the feature. I mean, I think that speaks to a lot about this league, actually.
Yeah, the quality of the driving, and you will not find a league that puts on a better charity event than Roger Craig. Man, it is absolute pleasure. Had the pleasure of working with him on the veterans fundraiser, the last one, and I'm telling you, I could not keep up with Roger. Man, he just gets going and he puts together an amazing show, and we're seeing that tonight.
Yeah, and I've been in this league now a couple of years, and I mean we've raised almost $20,000 for various charities, and I have no reason to believe this one won't be just as successful here with the cancer charity and all this kind of good stuff, the Olsons, and um, just amazing what this league does, and we do it, basically quarterly, and each time it just always blows me away how many of our guys participate, how many of our teams actually kind of come up and sponsor and throw even more money into the bank here for these things. It's just really really remarkable, and it's probably my favorite thing that we do all year.
Yeah, and the work that Roger puts in is just,
Yes.
it's unmatched.
Yeah. Yeah, and I work with Roger, a lot actually, not just the charity things, and keeping up with him year round. I'm telling you, um, and he probably get mad at me for saying this, but when I'm his age, I'm still ticking along that well. He's extremely on top of things and active, and just amazing the job he does. But um, this thing here, though, I tell you. We talked about it. Some of the names in here, there's no guarantee. This is just to get out of the C to the B. Everybody watches the Chili Bowl every year, and you see these great names that are way down in the soups. You think, wow. I mean, it tells you what kind of field that's in there when you got guys that can win national event races buried down in the C and the D main, and at the Chili Bowl. You got the same thing here tonight with some of these guys here in this race.
Yeah, 360 sprint cars are going to turn up the action a little bit more, I think. We actually watching a couple cars out on track, dicing it, slide job crossovers. So getting a little bit of seat time preparing for, until they just made contact, a little bit of seat time preparing for this B main.
Yeah, and this is a cool thing about this one, though. Unlike the other two that we've watched, the 358s, 305s, this one is an open set. These guys can be on the track right now. They can pull in the pits and start working on those cars if it feels too loose or too tight, or they want more speed out of it. They can go to the pits and adjust. That's a big difference.
Yeah, so they don't mind this long break. Gives them time out on the track to get the car just right.
Absolutely. Again, though, 15 laps, whatever they're going to do to it, outside of probably installing a nitrous button, they're going to have to a short period of time to get it, whatever it is they want to get done.
Isaac Salas still at the top of the board. We're following along with Mike Cramner, currently 7th quick, as you see on the board, 13.868 for Cramner. Salas, Grandy, Lawson, Waite, and Dean Reynolds, your top 5 in practice. I think Mike Cramner digging on that bottom side. You can see the track here at Volusia starting to wear out a little bit. This C main will be 15 laps as these drivers try to race their way into the B main.
Yeah, and what's funny is I don't know the track conditions now. The track, I don't think they'll see track conditions like this. I think it's already slicked up more than what they're going to see in that feature. So what these guys have to resist doing, because their cars are probably getting a little loose at this point, going across the slick. Last thing they need to do is go in there and tighten it up, and then when we reset the track for the feature, next thing you know, they can't turn. So got to be careful here.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you're out there and you are in a 360 sprint car session, and you do not see Isaac Salas, Joseph Grandy, Brian Lawson, and Brad Waite in that session, you are in the wrong session. A new session has been created, and those cars are currently out on track. So again, if you are in a session and you do not see Isaac Salas, Joseph Grandy, Brian Lawson, or Brad Waite, please exit and rejoin the other session in iRacing.
Now, what these guys could be doing, you know, because I do think you got a couple guys in here that I think have a chance at going all the way to the main event on Thursday, tomorrow night. You can start kind of testing a little bit because that track's going to change a whole lot during that race tomorrow.
How many laps is the feature?
I knew you were going to ask me that as soon as I said something. I want to say it's like 40.
Let's see. It is 30, 40, 50, and 75. So these 360s will be running 50 laps tomorrow, it looks like.
Which
Is that
means
right?
they're going to
Let
have
me
to
see.
stretch. That sounds right, because I don't think these cars can make it any more than 50 laps. They're going to have to pack them full of fuel, and then they're going to have to maybe, you know, first 10 laps, 15 laps, run to a fuel number to make sure you can make it to the end. Because if you go hammer down from the get-go, I think you might be pretty close on getting to the end without running out of fuel.
Yeah, this race will be 15. The B mains, we have 4 B mains coming up. Those will be 20 laps. So it increases throughout until tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big show.
Yeah, I've kind of enjoyed kind of being up here in the booth and, you know, taking a week off from driving and, you know, kind of just relaxing. But, you know, I drive these cars an awful lot, and now I'm starting to get those competitive juices flowing. I kind of want to go hop in a car.
Wait, I want to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. Since I started broadcasting and running a different league, I found myself not with enough time to not time to get in the sim rig much. And with the real car, that's less than that even more. So yeah, I can't wait to free up some time and get back behind the wheel here on iRacing.
Yeah, it's from time to time I kind of do that and lighten my load on the broadcast side of things just so I can get in and get laps and all those kind of things. It's kind of my retirement plan. It's like, you know, when I start to, you know, start running into walls with no help at all or not being competitive, at least I think I got something I can fall back on a little bit and still hang out and see these guys run.
So Roger's asking for drivers. I think Preston Cramner actually sent out a message on Facebook asking which session to get into. John, if you could relay that to Roger, that would be greatly appreciated. Guess we could have pulled him up here, I suppose.
I can do that. Pull him up here. There he is.
As the drivers are getting final instructions, we're getting ready to go green here. I think we had 14 that were supposed to grid. We have 9 currently in the field. 8 will transfer, so 1 heading home.
Well, it's not letting me pull them up. I thought you used to be able to right click their name and send them to a room.
Let me see if I can. I think I can. In the booth with us is the master organizer of this event, Mr. Roger Craig, is with us. We are live. Roger, the call out for drivers that may be waiting to get into the race. I saw a message from Preston Cramner asking if he was in the right. I believe it was Preston on Facebook. So I don't know if you have contact with him, but I wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I know we've got a few guys AWOL. The issue is a lot of times we do have guys that they're down in the sea main. It's not worth them coming out. We're I think doing our best effort to try to make sure they're notified. You guys have, I think, mentioned their names, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so we're just doing best effort here. I know Barry Goldner, he missed this session. We're going to put him in the next in the B main. I missed him and me, so I kind of screwed myself here. When I had the spreadsheet entering the names, I missed the first row, so I screwed myself out of qualifying. But anyways, that's the way it is here, and in the spirit of this charity event, uh, it's all best effort. It's all about the cause, childhood cancer, and I think all the guys realize that. So we're ready to rock and roll here.
Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, that is the master planner of this whole operation, Roger Craig. As you can see, the field is gridding. So, John, we're getting ready to go racing here. Billy Richardson on the front row in the 29. He's got the 70 car of Mike Cramner to his outside. Waiting on Isaac Salas in the 5 car to grid. The 814 of Brad Waite with the 5 car of Isaac Salas on his inside. Brian Lawson and Pat Boyce in row number 3. John Rayner in the 302 machine is in row number 4 with Joseph Grandy to his outside. And Mr. Dean Reynolds in that 79 car will roll off at the tail end of the field. 15 laps to get it done. We are about to get underway. Top 8 transferring to the B main. John, what are you looking for?
A fast race. These guys, these cars get around here at a pretty quick clip. If we don't have any cautions, this thing's going to be over in about a blink of an eye. I mean, it'll only take a couple minutes to get through. So, not a couple, but a few minutes to get through it. So, I said it earlier. If you're going to do something, you better do it quick, or you're going to get left behind.
Yes, sir. Pace truck is off. We are underway. It is Billy Richardson. That opens up a lead over Mike Cramner. Cramner all over the rear tail tank of the 29. Brad Waite in that 814 is in P3. Isaac Salas has fallen back one in the 5. He is in P4 with his teammate. That's Brian Lawson in the 9 machine, who is in P5. John Rayner is in the pit, so it looks like the 302 car with some issues early, and that's something that he didn't want to see, especially with one car heading home.
And Waite. Yeah, Waite just got up into the fence too.
And over the edge, he comes back on the track. Billy Richardson at the front of the field. Now Isaac Salas. He makes up that position he lost. He's looking at Mike Cramner. He wants the second position. Let's go on board with that 5 car. Yes, he's sliding up high, trying to get above the top side of the 70, and it looks like he may do it. Now he's going to try to get down underneath Billy Richardson. As the caution comes out, Mike Cramner involved. Let's take a quick look at what happened here to Mike Cramner in that 70 machine. There's the 5 car of Isaac Salas closing up on the outside of the 70.
Yeah, Isaac just turns down into Mike, and it looks like he looks like he was going to try to make a move to the inside of Richardson, but Mike was there, and as soon as Isaac turned down, contact immediately happened, and it sent Mike Cramner right into the wall.
Yeah, sure enough, there was the contact between the 5 and the 70. So we will line them up and give it another go here with Billy Richardson at the front of the field in the 29. All restarts in sprint cars will be single file. So John Rayner and Mike Cramner are both. Rayner may have disconnected, so Cramner is safe, John.
Yeah, looks like Rayner has put it on the hauler and called it a night here. So big break for Cranmer here. He's unable to get back out and continue on here.
Lights are still on the pace truck. We're waiting to see. There they go off. We got one to go. We will go green next time by on lap 6 of 15 or 5 of 15. Billy Richardson at the front of the field. Isaac Salas moves up to P2. Brian Lawson, Joseph Grandy, Dean Reynolds, your top 5. Looks like Salas was in a big hurry to get to the front of the field. I would suspect or expect some pressure from that 5 car as the pace truck exits. Billy Richardson will bring the field to the green flag. A great restart by the 29. He gets out in front of the 5 car of Isaac Salas. Brian Lawson currently in P4 now as Grandy sends the 518 down low. Brian Lawson falls back to P4. Dean Reynolds in the 79 now taking a peek at the 9 car. Up front, Richardson getting away from the field. Salas trying to close that gap on lap 8 of 15. Joseph Grandy moves up to P3. John, I've watched Grandy run in Coast to Coast and Friday Night Lights, and that 518 can get it done.
Yeah, he's pretty versatile and can get behind the wheel of a lot of different cars and then be right up to pace with them. So it'll be interesting to see if he can run these guys down up at the front, but we got a good battle for the lead.
Coming off a 4 on the low side, it is the 5 car at the line. Isaac Salas to the point. Slides up in front of Richardson. Richardson with a crossover. He's going to take a peek down low. Yikes, that was going to be close. Both cars coming off at turn 4. Richardson will take the lead back. It will be Salas coming out of turn 2 with the lead in the 5 car. Richardson in the 29. These guys are not holding back.
No, they're not. And there's not really any pressure other than losing a good starting spot here because everybody's going to make it that's on track. So why not go for it? And they're dicing around. Let's open the door for Grandy.
Grandy falls into line P2. Does Grandy have anything for the 5 car on lap 13? Oh, that was close. Grandy have anything for the 5 car of Salas on lap 13 of 15. Billy Richardson, he falls back to P3. Brian Lawson now. Lawson is all over the rear end of that 29 car. Dean Reynolds in the 79. He's running a safe distance. Not very close to the car in front of him, and no one behind him. As Lawson coming off at turn 4. We got one to go. Salas with Grandy all over his rear tail tank. Salas with 2 more corners to navigate, coming off a 4. The 5 car driver out of North Dakota. Isaac Salas will take the win in the C main, followed by Grandy, Lawson, Richardson, Reynolds, Boyce, Waite, and Cramner. We will get a word with your top 3 as we prepare for the temperature to turn up just a little harder as we move to the B mains, John.
Yeah, the next one's the intensity is going to pick up even more because that's the final go or go home. That one you can that next ones will end your charity event here as we go through those. If you have a bad run, that is.
Waiting for those drivers to get up into the booth. Waiting on Brian Lawson in that 09 car. As always, like to thank Brian for his service to our country and the United States Navy. Actually served out here near me in California from conversations we've had in the past. There is Joseph Grandy. He finished P2. Still waiting on Isaac Salas and Brian Lawson.
And every time now you
There
mention
is
being out there, you mentioned being out there in California. Now I got that song, old CCR song, Lord, I'm stuck in Lodi again.
Lodi. That's not far from here, actually. We
Oh,
have
nice.
the 9 car of Brian Lawson in the booth. Brian, this is Joe. You got me?
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Good, man. Good
Sorry,
run.
Joe, I need to interrupt. Sorry. There is a new session going up for the 305B main. So I need everybody to be aware of that. It's going up now. So do not go in the current session. It'll be the one with the most time on the clock. So hopefully everybody is watching the broadcast and aware of that. So the B main for the 305s, a new session is going up. Thanks a lot, guys. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Brian Lawson, good run in that 9 car. You moved up 2 positions. You learn anything for the B main coming up?
Learn something? Yeah, hang on, because those 360s are badass. I'm not used to them. I think you know me well enough. I usually drive the modifieds, and I'm just not used to the sprint cars. So, to be able to come home in third and at least make it into the B main, I'm happy with that after the last couple of nights we've had some bad luck. So happy to bring this home in third.
Yeah, man, don't stop there. Drive that 9 car into the feature. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
Mainly just got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Coast to Coast for doing such a great job. My guys at Venom Racing, and just got to give a shout out to a few of the better organizations out there for children's cancer, like St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the Children's Cancer Association, and the Children's Cancer Fund. All of them are great places. If you want to donate, look them up.
All right, man. Great run. Thank you for your service in the Navy, and good luck in the B main.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. Joseph Grandy in that 518. The 518 was on a rail. He moves up 6 from his starting position. Joseph, this is Joe. You got me?
Yep. How you doing, Joe?
How'd you do it, man?
Luckily, a few people didn't show up, and a couple people decided to run into each other, so that helped out quite a bit. And
up 6 though.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty fast. I had a rough Monday night, so I figured I had a good chance of transferring. They're taking 8 anyway, so there was only 1 left to go.
All right, man. Did you learn anything from that setup that you're going to use in the B main?
No, I've been using this setup for a while, and we've been racing Volusia over the past couple days, so I think I'm pretty set. I think I have a good chance of transferring, but as long as I stay clean. But we'll see. It's always a crapshoot.
All right, man. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank West End Towing and Repair, Catalytic Recovery. I'd like to thank you, Joe, for doing the broadcast, Coast to Coast, and Hope Childhood Cancer Awareness for doing this event.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
Yep. Isaac Salas in the 5 car. He moves up 2 from his start. Isaac, this is Joe. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
That, my friend, is how you get it done. Drove the 5 car to the front. What'd you learn in that race that you're going to use in the B main?
I don't know if I don't know if I should say it, to be honest with you.
No,
Keep it a secret.
okay. You can tell me after we're off the air, so I can write.
Yeah, like, good save. But I know the setup I got. She handles pretty good. I know we had a little bit of speed there. I know we had contact with Mike. I don't know if that was my bad, so apologies if it was. But yeah, it was a fun little C main. Kind of sad that I'm here, but gonna make the most of it.
Yeah, man. Got to race through the B, and you're in the feature. So looking forward to that. What's the temperature in North Dakota tonight?
It's not too bad, to be honest with you. I think we actually hit the positive digits for once, so that was kind of cool.
That is insane.
This morning I think I got to work and it was like, I want to say negative, I don't know, -10. Wind chill made it pretty worse.
That is insane. Who you want to thank on that 5 car?
Yeah, definitely all those guys over at Venom Racing, Dean the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Got Your 6 Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Simtrax Broadcasting, Dirt Track Bank, Top Notch Trucking, Mission 22 and all they do. Thank you guys for the broadcast. I'm excited to go back and watch it a little bit here. Thank you to the fight against childhood cancer event that we're doing here. It's truly a great cause, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And then thanks to all our admins and everything, and then my friends, family, and everybody that supports us.
All right, man. Driver to the feature.
Sweet, thank you, buddy.
All right, man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the winner of the 360 open sets. John, are you ready for a dice roll?
I am. We can figure out who's lining up where for tomorrow night.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is the dice roll.
Okay. It's time for the dice rolls. The first dice roll will be to determine who has the inside row for the final, either the Monday night qualifiers or the Tuesday night. If it's an odd number, then Monday night will have the inside. If it's an even number, then Tuesday night will have the inside. So here we go. There's your dice. Numbers on all the sides. Make sure everybody knows it's legit. Okay, here we go. Odds, Monday night inside, evens, Tuesday inside. And it is a 1. So that means that Monday night has the inside row. Now, here we go to determine how many rows are inverted. And it'll only be up to the first 5 rows. So if I roll a 6, it won't count. We'll roll again. So it's only up to the first 5 rows. Here we go for the 305s. And it doesn't count. Do it again. Jeez. Okay, do it again. What are the odds? Okay, here we go again. 3. So 3 rows of the 305s will be inverted. Now we'll do the 358s. I'm starting to wonder if this dice is loaded or something. Jeez. 4 rows of the 358s will be inverted. Here we go for the 360s. Everybody holding their breath. 3 rows for the 360s will be inverted. And finally, the big block modifieds to finish the night out with a 75 lapper. Here we go. 2 rows for the big blocks. So there you have it, folks. That is the end of the dice roll. Good luck to everybody tomorrow night. And also tomorrow night we will be featuring the door prize draw and who the winners of that are. So stay tuned for that. Just want to thank everybody for participating, and good luck the rest of tonight and tomorrow night.
Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers. And a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
It's Florida in February. Kick off 2023 with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and Dirt Car UMP Modifieds February 6th through the 11th. World of Outlaws Late Models and Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds February 13th through the 18th. Tickets and camping at dirtcarnationals.com. February 6th through the 18th at Volusia Speedway Park. Be there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is B-Main time. 8 of the drivers in the field will transfer to tomorrow night's feature. John, you think we'll see much different than we saw in the C-Main?
I do. I think it's ramped up here. This is your last chance to make the show tomorrow, unless you want to cough up some coin and get buy one of the provisionals that's being auctioned off, which is not a bad thing. It's a little more money for childhood cancer, but this is probably the easier way to go about it, maybe for some of these guys. So the big thing here is You want to run your race. You want to be aware of where the cutoff line is, and you've got to make your own determination if you're safe or not safe. The races are going to be a little bit longer, so you know what? You're going to have time to probably work up through the field tomorrow night. So, yeah, it's all going to be about that, I think, for this one here.
Yeah, the drivers got 20 laps this time. It looks like 5 cars will be heading home as 8 will transfer. So we're getting ready to get underway. They got a few more laps, 5 more laps here at Volusia can make all the difference in the world. As the checkered flag has fallen over practice, we're getting ready to go B main racing here. Brian Lawson in that 9 car will roll off on the pole in the 9 car. We talked to Brian in the 360 sprint cars. He got 217, a Jack hit to his outside on that front row. Brad Waite on the inside of row number 2 with Colby Kassinger to his outside. Jeff Falero in the 200. He was fastest in practice. He is on the inside of row number 3 with Keith Abbott, who has not gridded yet, to his outside. Ross Correnta in the 10 car will be on the inside of Jeff Barker in the 513 Marine Machine. Barry Goldner, Terry Landis in row number 4, Pat Boyce and Bradley Wright in row number 5. Gary Sigelkow will round out your field of 13 drivers. Looks like the 741 did not make the grid, John.
No, it looks like he had a connection issue. So, you know, whenever that's happened to me, I just chalk it up. We had engine issues, and that's that. But they're going to come around here to green. But take note of all these heavy hitters that are all in the back with Landis, Correnta, Flero. It's going to be interesting.
Pace truck is off. We're getting ready to go green. This is the B main. Brian Lawson on the inside. He will stick that 9 car down low. Jack hit in the 217 will get to his outside. Can't quite close the deal on the backstretch. The 11 car of Brad Waite, he's digging down low, comes off low of turn 4. Lawson is able to get to the lead. Looks like the 714 of Kassinger, my apologies, currently in P4. He goes side by side with that 11 car of Brad Waite. The most important spot on the track, we will look at the 36 car. That is Barry Goldner. Terry Landis is in the first car on the outside, looking in at a start in the feature. Landis trying to get to the inside. He's got to get around that 36 car. Brad White right in the 814 is coming to the front also. Up front, Brian Lawson getting away from the field. We heard him say he's not very good in a sprint car. Couldn't tell it from where I'm sitting there, Mr. Lawson. Jack hit P2, Brad Waite P3. Jeff Barker in the 513. He is running P4, and Colby Kassinger will round out your top 5. Jeff Falero dives down low. Trying to get underneath Barry Goldner. Those two will battle it out side by side as the caution comes out.
Yeah, I think that might have been on Pat Boyce. I think he was like just barely waiting for the field to go by, but I think he was just beyond the green cone.
Let's see here. Yep, we do have Pat Boyce. Boy, his left rear is all turned in. Just can't get the car to turn into the outside wall. In turn 4 he goes.
Yeah, he was already about 4 laps down, so he's going to need some help here to make this feature.
Brian Lawson at the front of the field. Let's see who sits on that bubble. Once the field cycles through, Lawson hit Waite, Barker, Correnta, Cassinger, Falero, and Goldner. Terry Landis in the 61 car. John is on the bubble here.
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to have a restart here, and sometimes that can help you out a little bit. You know, he had fallen back maybe a couple of car lengths back to the 36 there and was kind of maintaining that. So he wasn't necessarily faster than Goldner, but he wasn't closing either.
Brian Lawson will take us to the green flag. The lights are off on the pace truck. We're going green next time by. Lawson, Jack hit. Again, we've said it all night, and they have proved us wrong. Not sure how hard those front runners will run here, as there are 5 cars with the threat of heading home after this B main. 8 cars will race their way in. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to the 9 car. Venom Racing's Brian Lawson. Good restart. Jack hit. Falls back a little bit. Brad Waite in that 11 car. He's looking at the tail tank of the 217 of Jack hit. Jeff Barker, 513. John, Jeff Barker is always just so smooth and consistent.
Yeah, Jeff is very, very consistent. He's a guy I do like racing around because you know you can trust him. He's a guy that will hold his line, put his car right where he wants it, doesn't move it around. And there's contact with Goldner in the back there with the 714. This transfer spot is starting to heat up here a bit.
Barry Goldner currently on that transfer spot, the 61 of Landis. He wants to transfer to the main event. Cannot get a run off the bottom of 4. Falls back in line. He's got to get by that 36 car if he wants to advance.
Yeah, and
caution
he had a real. We got a
comes
caution.
out.
Yeah.
Gary Siegelkow involved in that 25 machine. Running back there with the 741 of Keith Abbott. Abbott just kind of drifts up to the outside, and into the outside wall goes the 25.
Yeah, that's tough. You got a guy that's several laps down, and yeah. I'm sure Gary's not the happiest camper there.
No, indeed. So, lap 11 of 20. Brian Lawson still at the front of the field as we anticipated. The 9 car of Brian Lawson. Sorry about that. Answering a message from Roger. The 9 car Brian Lawson has led from flag to flag. Terry Landis is in the 9th position, a threat of heading home. He's got Barry Goldner, the 36, in front of him.
And I'll tell you, he had Goldner passed, and Terry, what happened is right on the corner exit, he kicked that back end, and I'm sure it bogged the car down and broke its momentum, and that's how Goldner was able to hold back or gain back that position. But Landis had beat him to the corner entry, through the center of the corner, and was actually in the process of beating him on corner exit when that back end kicked out. So he's got that in his hip pocket. Watch, I won't be surprised if he tries it again here.
So, Barry Goldner is holding on to that final transfer position. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Brian Lawson at the front of the field. Barry Goldner in the 36. Currently in the 8th running position. Now Barry Goldner battling it out with the 714. Terry Landis still on the outside looking in as the 714 battles it out with the 36. Terry Landis decides to go down low, trying to get underneath those 2 cars.
He beat him to the line here, so
he is up in that 8th position.
The inside wall. That killed his momentum in the center of that corner. He barely got the inside wall with that left front.
Yes, he falls back to 9th. As he pulls up alongside Colby Cassinger once again, they are nose to tail. Up front, Brian Lawson getting it done. Jack Hitt, P2. You're not missing much up front as these drivers are all nose to tail. Carintha in P4, Barker in 5, Falero 6, Goldner in 7.
Landis has got him again to the outside there.
Landis dives down low into 61. No room to slide. He makes it up to the high line. Put Terry Landis in a transfer position. Now Colby Cassinger has some work to do in that 714. He will not settle.
Yeah, but Bradley Wright is he's got his eyes on that 61. He got around him too here. So Landis isn't safe by any means as we're counting them down here. We only got a couple laps to go.
Brian Lawson currently at the front of the field. The last transfer car is currently Terry Landis on lap 19 of 20. Brian Lawson takes the white flag.
As I say, Terry's put a little bit of distance there. I'm starting to think he's safe now as long as he doesn't make any big mistakes here.
Boy, he's got to be ultra careful here. Brian Lawson coming off of turn 4. Ross Carintha, P2.
Tumbling.
Hit. Brad Wright, Barker, and it will be that 61 car that transfers. We'll get interviews with your top 5 here, or top 3. Now I'm trying to increase the number, John.
Yeah, wow, there was a lot of contact. Yeah, there's a lot of contact on that last lap. Sigelcow and Pat Boy. I mean, Sigelcow just cleaned Boyce out.
A lot of drivers will not be pleased, I am certain.
Absolutely.
We will get a word with your top 3, waiting for them to get up into the booth here. I see Ross is in the booth. There is Jack Hitt in the 217. We'll get a word with Jack Hitt. Jack, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
Man, that gentleman Jack car was looking pretty good out there. Did you learn anything for the tomorrow night's feature?
I learned that I should probably just follow Ross wherever he's going to go because I don't know where he came from, but he was fast.
Yeah, he did move up 5, man. Great run by that 217. Welcome to the main event tomorrow night, my friend. Who do you want to thank on that ride?
Oh, I got to thank my wife for giving me the time to do this. Got to thank Doyle Lawrence for giving me a few extra horsepower with the paint scheme, and just everyone here at the league for putting on the great show.
All right, man. In the show tomorrow. You running again tonight?
Yeah, I'm in everything here for Bees except the 360s.
All right, man. Good luck. Go get them.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Ross Carintha moves up from the sea and puts it in the show. Ross, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, that's how you get it done right there. You're in the show tomorrow night. How'd you get it done in the 10 car?
Like I said, it's kind of just a momentum thing, and be patient and kind of pick your spots. Luckily, the bottom and 1 and 2 kind of came in there, so nobody was really down there. So I was able to pick a couple people off by staying down there and working my way up to second.
Yeah, man, great run. Who do you want to thank on the 10?
Obviously the guys over at Phantom Motorsports and Vanderbilt Race Cars. Sponsors: Velocity Race Design, Weichel Sportswear, Power Outdoors. Even though this was a fixed setup, the open stuff, M9 Performance, Trevor Meyer over there, and you guys for putting the broadcast on, and everybody behind the scenes making this show work.
Yeah, man. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Brian Lawson in the 9 car. Starts on the pole, finishes first. Brian, this is Joe. You got me?
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Man, not bad for a guy who's not good in sprint cars, as you said.
I mean, I got to be honest. The 305s aren't the hardest thing in the world, and starting out front makes it that much easier, especially on a green track like that.
All right, man. You're in the show tomorrow night. You think you have anything for them tomorrow?
Anything can happen. I mean, am I going to be the fastest guy out there? Heck no, far from it. But just try to keep all four tires under me and keep the thing together, and dodge some wrecks as they happen, because I'm sure they're going to happen, and see where we wind up, see what we can get out of it.
All right, man. I wish you the best of luck. Who do you want to thank on the 9 ride?
I just got to thank you guys in Coast to Coast Racing League for putting this on, and my guys at Venom Racing.
All right, man. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, Joe. Talk to you
man.
soon.
There you go, John. There are the 305 sprint cars. The field for tomorrow night is set. Coming up next, we have the 358s, I believe. But before that, John, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with those 358s.
Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers, and a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
It's Florida in February. Kick off 2023 with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and Dirt Car UMP Modifieds February 6th through the 11th. World of Outlaws Late Models and Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds February 13th through the 18th. Tickets and camping at dirtcarnationals.com. February 6th through the 18th at Volusia Speedway Park. Be there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the 358 Modifieds. John, here we go again. B main, 14 cars in the field, 8 transfer.
Yeah, and again, it's loaded with some names here. So it's go or go home time again. And you know what? That's going to bring the intensity. I think we saw a little bit more intensity in that last race. Sense of urgency is going to be there. I expect the same thing here on these cars.
Yeah, we are getting ready to go. Samuel Bachman currently at the top of the board with a 16:7:24, his best lap. Corintha, Ross, Boyce, and Hit, your top 5. There is a bunch of familiar names here. As the drivers are getting their last instructions from race control. Six cars heading home.
Yeah, these things are going to put on a good show. Again, a little bit longer, I think a little more track wear here, and they're getting ready to line them up here. I see the checkered flag is fallen here on the practice session.
Yeah, we're getting ready to grid another 20 laps to get it done. Top 8 heading to tomorrow night's, what did we say, 30 or 40 lap feature? Let's take a quick look. 40 lap feature tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that's enough time to get it done no matter where you're coming at from the field, too, if you can get your car working just right.
Connor Ross, let's see if we can find Harold Klump will start on the outside of the front row, waiting for Connor Ross. There he is. Connor Ross in that 35 machine will start on the pole. Jesse Bandy, Jack Hitt in row 2. Jeff Valero, Brian Lawson in row 3. Samuel Bachman, Boydell in 4. Goldner Wright in 5. Pat Boyce, Ross Corenta in 6. And Roger Craig and Keith Abbott round out your field of 14 drivers.
It's kind of cool to see Ross up there on the pole. That's a newly, I guess I could say, he's rejoined Gambler, so I'm really happy to have him back in the fold.
That's right. Thank you for the reminder. This, the B mains brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Just put them up on the board, actually. I downloaded that this afternoon.
Had no idea. It's funny.
This is the B mains presented by Gambler Motorsports. Pace truck is off. We are underway. Connor Ross at the front of the field. The outside line did not go, John.
No, it didn't, and that immediately is going to give the inside lane quite an advantage.
Greg Boydell, the first car on the outside looking in, battling it out with Boydell is now in the 8th position. So the 0-14, that's twice he's made contact in that same location.
And that's really stacked him up behind him here. But Barry Goldner is all over Boydell for that transfer spot.
We saw those two battle it out in a previous race. It's Goldner on the outside looking in. As the 0-14 of Greg Boydell pulls up to the rear bumper of Samuel Bachman in the 007 machine. Connor Ross at the front of the field. Jesse Bandy in P2 in the 57. Harold Klump P3 in the 66. Jack Hitt is in P4. Brian Lawson, Jeff Valero. Greg Boydell is in the 8th and final transfer position. I don't know who that was that slid in there. In the blue and white car, that is Ross Corenta. He's on the outside.
Yeah, he's got some spots to make up yet here, so he's got to get going.
On lap 6 of 20. Boydell kind of in a comfortable position now. He's able to get away from Barry Goldner and not so close to Samuel Bachman. If that 014 can ride right there, it would be a comfortable ride to tomorrow's main event. Up front, Connor Ross, your top 5 are nose to tail. Saw one car jump out of line. That is Jeff Falero in that 200 machine. As the 014 pulls up to the rear bumper of Samuel Bachman in the 007 ride.
You know, if I'm Boydell, I was gonna say, if I'm Boydell, that's a tough spot. You want a little bit more of a cushion, but you really don't have any pressure from behind. But a caution could come out any point in time, and he's gonna have a lot of pressure at that point if he does. So I think you probably, if you're Greg, you probably want to move up at least one spot, maybe two.
Man, that's that dice game we were talking about.
Yep.
How hard do you run? But you're right, John. If a caution comes out, that puts the 36 right back to his rear bumper or on the inside of him.
Yeah, and not only him, but that number 10 that's working his way through the field here with Ross Carena. So, yeah, if I'm Greg, I'm trying to get the Bachman and getting around him.
Up front, Connor Ross. Let's go on board with the 57 car and see what it looks like from inside that Bandy machine. In the 57, both those cars running just above the slick in 3 and 4. You can see the track is really starting to slicken up here. Yeah, as Bandy's running in a comfortable second. Looks like your top 3 are spread out a safe distance from each other. It is the 014 of Greg Boydell. They're able to pull away from Barry Goldner, John. Goldner's fallen off the pace a little bit.
Yeah, and staying in line, you know, this goes back. I was like, yeah, I would be up there trying to challenge to get a little bit breathing room for a caution, but by those guys staying in line, they're faster that way. As soon as you start dicing it up, you slow down, and I guarantee it, if they start messing around too much, Goldner will be right back to that that Boydell machine there.
Yes, he will. They are getting single file. Brian Lawson in the 9 car. He takes a peek underneath the 217. Jack hit. He thought better of it and just kind of stayed in line on lap 16 of 20. It's winding down to a final field set for the 358 modifieds. Up front, plenty of distance between Connor Ross and Jesse Bandy. Jesse Bandy and Harold Klump, plenty of room. Jack hit. This is where it starts getting dicey. Looks like Jack hit and Brian Lawson nose to tail, but a lot closer than your top group as the 007 of Samuel Bachman took a small peek underneath that 200, thought better of it. Coming to 2 to go. Now Falero takes a peek underneath. Boydell in the current transfer position in that 014. Barry Goldner, the first car on the outside looking in. Ross Corenta running with the 36 back there. 1 lap to go. Connor Ross in the 35 machine, running all by himself over not quite a second gap between himself and Jesse Bandy, will take the win. Greg Boydell will get the final transfer. We will get a word with your top 3 here.
That sigh of relief that you hear out of Canada, that's Greg Boydell. Thankfully, he's going to go to the race tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that was well deserved as
Absolutely.
Trying to think where Boydell started. I'm looking at my board here. It looks like Boydell started 8th, finished 8th, so good for him.
That's what you call doing what you got to do to move on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We'll get a word with your top 3, a brief word, as we move on to the 360s coming up. There is Connor Ross, your winner. We're waiting on Harold Klump in that 66 machine. Harold, this is Joe. You got me? Harold, this is Joe. You got me? Must not have audio. We will get a word with your winner. That is Connor Ross in the 35 machine. Connor, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, man, great run in that 35. Started up front, kept her up there all night. Walk us through that real quick.
I knew Bandy's always getting whatever he gets in, so I knew I just had to utilize starting up front, and with the track state it wasn't much passing, so I kind of just knew I had to stay up top and tried the diamond line to see if that was coming in. I wanted to stay on top of the track and stay ahead of the changes, but yeah, we just ran a good race, and hopefully we can do the same tomorrow night.
Yeah, man, raced your way in. Who do you want to thank on that 35?
I got to thank Gambler Motorsports, John, all the guys back at the shop. Gotta say sorry to my teammate for making him run a B main tonight here in the 360. So, but I got to thank Cool Race and Schultz and VMR Wraps. So, thank you for the league for putting on this great cause and this great charity race, and you guys for an amazing broadcast.
Yeah, man, good luck tomorrow night. Go get them.
Thank you. Will do.
Yeah, man. Jesse Bandy starts 57 in P3, brings it home P2. Jesse, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you, sir.
Man, good run. Welcome to the big show tomorrow night. You raced your way in. Did you learn anything in this race that might help you tomorrow?
Oh man, these things are just all about throttle control. It's huge. That's really pretty much where it's at in these things.
Yeah, John and I were actually talking about that, man. Looks like you got her done, man. Who do you want to thank on that 57?
Just everybody over at Bandybuilt, Velocity Race Designs, Bio.com, Fitzpatrick Photography, Dirt Doctor Trucking. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Welcome to the big show. Good luck.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. We'll try Harold Klump one more time. Harold, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Harold, welcome to the show. 66. You put it on the podium, man. Walk us through your night real quick.
Glad to start up front. Didn't have to worry about messing around out back.
Yeah, I think that's kind of key, man. You're not going to be so lucky tomorrow night. You raced your way into the big show, so we're going to have a little bit more traffic, man. Who do you want to thank on that 66 for getting you in the feature tomorrow?
Well, first I have to thank the wife for making the honeydew list small for this week. And then Line Decker race engines, Arts radiators, and Deerfoot used auto parts.
All right, man. Congratulations. Drive her to the front tomorrow night.
I'm just happy to be in the show.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are your top three from the 358 Modifieds. We will take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the 360. So we'll be right back.
Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers. And a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the Open Set 360s. John, you're ready to turn up the action a little bit, huh?
Absolutely. These cars got a little kick to them there, and these guys are feeling it. And we touched on it earlier tonight, about going from car to car to car. And, you have we just got out of the 358s, and that car is all about momentum. It's all about not spinning the tires, everything else. Now you got this car with, like I said, a little kick to it under your foot. So spinning the tires is still important, but maneuverability and having some drive off the corners, completely different.
Yeah, and we got a larger number heading home. Looks like 7 cars heading home from this race. 8 will race their way in. We got 20 laps to get it done as the grid starts to form. Waiting for everyone to get onto the grid. Boydell and Martin on the front row. Chapman Ross 2. Taylor Wright in 3. Dustin Sargent and Barry Goldner in row number 4. Isaac Salas, Joseph Grandy in row number 5. Brian Lawson, Billy Richardson in 6. Dean Reynolds, Pat Boyce in 7. Brad Waite rounds out your field of 15 drivers. Still waiting on the 377 to grid. I think this is the biggest field we've seen tonight, John.
I think you're right. And again, I keep looking at names in here, and just a handful of guys, once again, you just don't expect to see here. And I think I think this is one where we're going to see a guy that you would have automatically at the beginning of the whole event would have said, okay, yeah, there's a guy that'll make the feature. I think you're going to see one of those guys not make the feature at the end of this.
And Dustin Sargent is on the bubble as we get going here. Oh, Barry Goldner once again is on the bubble. My apologies. So that 36 car, he's been battling that bubble all night. Pace truck getting ready to exit. 20 laps to get it done. Top 8 heading to the big show tomorrow night. Green flag is out. We are underway. Greg Boydell at the front of the field gets a good start. As looks like Zach Chapman got into the inside fence a little bit, John.
Yeah, it didn't hurt him too much, and we got a caution already.
Dean Reynolds involved. Let's take a look. In that 79 car.
Oh, looks like Grandy got
gets
into,
sideways.
Yeah, he got into, I think it was the Bradley White machine. Just shot him right down the track.
So Greg Boydell at the front of the field. We get our first caution.
And Grandy's going to have to come in and take a faster pair and go all the way to the back.
So that's another fast car in the back of the field.
Yes.
So the temperature just gets hotter and hotter as we move forward.
Yeah, both he and Dean Reynolds are going to be back there, and those are two guys that you know, I think have got the pace to make the show. So those guys are going to have a sense of urgency and really going to have to take no prisoners kind of driving.
Yeah, we will start single file. Barry Goldner still in that 36 car, is on the final transfer position currently. Isaac Salas behind him, so that's probably not a comforting feeling with the 5 car behind you. It will be Greg Boydell that brings us to the green flag once again. Pace truck will exit this time by. Pace truck is off. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Boydell and TJ Martin at the front of the field. Oh, somebody dove down low. Didn't catch who that was. The 814 of Brad Wright got down low. Somebody sideways, and we got a big wreck in the back.
Yeah, we do. We got several cars upside down.
See if we can't rewind and get a look at what happened here.
Bradley White driving down the front stretch with no wing on there. He was the furthest one up. Oh, he just lost it on his own, and I think we have 2 different wrecks here. Bradley Wright lost it on his own, took a bunch of guys out there, and then I think we had one further back with the 29 that took out another handful of cars. So we
Looked
have
like
2
the
wrecks there.
77 and the 29 get together. You're right. And that Bradley Wright gets sideways in the middle of the corner. There were some good cars. That was just in front of the transfer, too.
Yes.
This will
just
take some
had a
time.
feeling. I just had a feeling you're going to see some really good cars not make this cut. Guys are running each other close. They're not giving each other a whole lot of room to operate as expected here. I mean, this is a last chance kind of deal. You've got to almost race and protect your position and run every lap like it's the last one, basically.
We've only made it to lap 5 of 20. Lights are still on the pace truck. Don't know if we'll get the one to go. Looks like Brent. Go ahead.
Joe, here's the crazy part. We just saw Dean Reynolds in that first incident. He had to come to the pits, start in the back. Look where this cat is now on this restart. He's in a transfer spot.
He's running in 7th. You're right, John. So this can all change in a big hurry. Greg Boydell will lead the field to green. He's got TJ Martin to his rear tail tank. Zach Chapman in P3. Pace truck will exit. We're getting ready to go back green. Pace truck is off. We are underway. Zach Chapman, looks like Connor Ross battling it out with the 34 of Gary Taylor. Isaac Salas is safe. Dean Reynolds, there is a gap between 8th and 9th here. Billy Richardson, contact made. Everyone able to drive away from it, it looks like, John.
It does, and that separated the transfer spot even more.
Now Billy Richardson in the final transfer. No, my apologies. Bradley Wright in that 814 who just saw go headlong into the wall off of 4. Wright and Billy Richardson battling it out. Boy,
I
they are
think
dicing
Richardson,
it up right here.
Yeah, Richardson. It looks like he's got some suspension damage, so he's having a time of it, and these guys are swallowing him up fast.
Now Brad Waite is the first car on the outside looking in the blue number 14. He looks underneath Bradley Wright in the 814. We are on lap 9 of 20. We do have a ways to go here. Side by side at the line. It was Bradley Wright last time by. Brad Waite on the inside. Waite gets to the outside behind Bradley Wright. On lap 11 of 20, we're halfway home. Up front, TJ Martin gets by Greg Boydell, the 3-car to the point. Greg Boydell battling back. Zach Chapman running just right into the marbles there. Connor Ross in the 35 takes a peek underneath Zach Chapman. Isaac Salas is safe currently. Gary Taylor in the 34 is safe. Dean Reynolds, Bradley Wright. John, this is where the fight's going to be.
It is, and why those two were fighting for that transfer spot, Pat Boyce and Dustin Sargent have reeled them in. Now you got a 4-car battle for one spot.
You got Bradley Wright down low in the 814. Brad Waite now in the 14. The 77 is around, gets into. Oh.
Wow.
Lap 15 of 20.
Yeah. I'm at a loss what I saw with Sargent there.
That 77 car is stout. I don't know what happened myself. But that will put them to the back of the field. But the back of the field, John, is not very far from that transfer position either.
Yeah, he usually has better car control than that. The 77 just turned really hard, and then he got over to 3 and 4 and just gunned it up the wall.
Bradley Wright is able to take over the lead, waiting on the pace truck to catch up.
After that little dust up, looks like Dustin Sargent has loaded it up and said, I've had enough tonight. So he's got her on the trailer, and I don't know if he's scheduled to run the next one with the big blocks, but he might be off getting that big block ready. Who knows?
Yeah, 377 heading home. So Joseph Grandy is out. Lawson is out. So some self-eliminations here. And it's still Brad Waite on the in that final transfer position, John, in that blue 14 ride.
Yeah, and I'm counting here with those 3 guys that have dropped here. We still got some guys, more guys and spots available here, so it still should be pretty intense.
Looks like 4 more. Green flag is out. The 3-car delays his restart. Boydell holds up. He falls off the leader's tail tank a little bit, bringing Connor Ross into his rear view mirror if he uses one. The 5-car of Isaac Salas in P4, Zach Chapman P5. Now the 14 car has moved all the way up to 6th, up 9 from the start, putting Billy Richardson in the 29 in that final transfer position. That is going to complicate things.
Yes, it is. That's Connor Ross, who's running P2. Ill-advised slider there, and you'd see him turn the car and try to stay off of second place car there, but to no avail.
That's the black and white car right below you. Slides up into the leader.
Yeah. Then it collects Boydell and Salas, and Oh my gosh! I think it just
Wow.
took out. I think out of the 8 guys I think that just took 5 out of the 8 guys that were in transfer spots. Connor will
Amazing.
go back. Connor will go back and look at that and probably regret that move there. At least he should regret that move there.
All right. So Connor Ross, it looks like, is the on that transfer spot. Barry Goldner in the 36 cars on the outside looking in. I see the 5 car in pit lane.
Yeah, but Connor didn't. He chose not to pit, and after a hit like that he took, I'm not so sure that rear axle is in good shape at this point. Looking at his car, I think he's got a bit of damage. His front tires look a little bowed out. He's got a lot of damage.
So we're running out of laps. On lap 17 of 20, I'm seeing the lights may go off on the pace truck this time by, and they do. So we're getting ready to go back green.
The one thing that Ross has got going for him, just a few laps left. So if he can figure out a way to hold on to that car, I just don't know if it's going to have a lot of speed to it. The handling may not be his issue, but the speed, that's going to be tough to overcome, I think.
Pace truck will exit. We are punching 8 tickets to the big show tomorrow night. Pace truck is off. As is TJ Martin. He's got Zach Chapman behind him. Brad Waite, MP3.
Oh,
D
wow.
Reynolds. Oh, another pile up.
Wild start. Bunch of guys spun their tires and were all over the track there.
Gary Taylor has moved up. That puts Pat Boyce, now Bradley Wright, in the orange and blue car. Greg Boydell fighting back on that outside. 1 lap to go. The 814, that blue car, is the final transfer position. We will watch this position until the end. TJ Martin will win. Zach Chapman, P2. Bradley Wright will transfer to tomorrow night. Greg Boydell, the first car on the outside looking in. Boydell, Boyce, Goldner, Salas, Sergeant Grandy, and Lawson heading home. Big names in that list.
Yes, just I was suspecting that. And Salas, Sargent, and Grandy, you would have thought those guys would have been a shoo-in to make the feature, but not to be.
Not to be, not tonight. We will get a word with your top 3. We're waiting on Brad Waite to get up into the waiting room. We will get a quick word as we move on to the last race of the night, the big open set, big block modifieds. There is Zach Chapman. Zach Chapman. I heard somebody doesn't have Discord. I didn't hear who it was. We'll get a word with Zach while we're waiting. Zach Chapman in the 72, drives it home, P2. Zach, this is Joe. You got me?
He grabbed Brad.
Let me grab Zach. Zach, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Joe?
Man, good run. So, did you learn anything you can use tomorrow night? And by the way, welcome to the big show tomorrow night.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I learned you just gotta kind of mind your own business and try to stay out of the big ones. I mean, it was hopefully in the A main tomorrow. You know, we settle down here a little bit and get a lot of green flag laps in because we've been struggling to do that the past couple nights.
Yeah, man, it was rough in the back, man. Great run. Congratulations for qualifying. Who do you want to thank on that 72?
John, man, he put so many hours, I believe, into these setups, man, and without him, I couldn't wheel the sprint car. He does a great job setting these things up for the Gambler team. All my other Gambler Motorsports teammates, Andy Piercefield at Cool Ray, Aiden, Young Gun Creations, and my wife for letting me race. It's her birthday today, so I was really hoping I didn't have to run these B mains, but that sweetheart of a wife let me race tonight.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. See you tomorrow night.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
All right, man. Now we got Brad Waite in the 14 car. Brad, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. Good run in the 14 car. Congratulations. You have punched your ticket to the big show tomorrow night. Man, walk us through the night. The car looked fast.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't have a really good night the first night. Even tonight, I just wasn't sure. I started well in the heat race, but ended up coming up in the back. But I still, punched it for here. And honestly, coming from, I think I started dead last. I was just, honestly, I just was patient, and I figured if someone was gonna, maybe a mishap in front of me to just, take it easy, take it easy. And honestly, I wound up on the podium. I mean, I'm super stoked. So I am more than pleased, and I'm gonna punch my ticket for tomorrow and see what we can do with this thing.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. Who do you want to thank on that 14 ride?
Honestly, not really much of anybody. Probably myself. And I did buy a setup, so hopefully that thing got me through to where I'm at now, and hopefully do a little better here tomorrow night.
All right, man. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Absolutely. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We will take a quick break. When we come back, we will have your final race of tonight, the Big Block Modifieds. We'll be back.
Hi, Olivia Olson here. I would just like to thank all of you for your generous donations and well wishes. Every dollar truly does go the distance to make a difference in the lives of those affected by childhood cancer. Not only does this money help support covering hospital fees, treatments, and therapies, it goes as far as covering parking and gas fees to travel to see specialized doctors. The Kings and Jesse are just one example of the immense good that Thon and Four Diamonds brings. Thon also provides these families with a platform to share their stories with others, to give and get support with those going through similar experiences. Because of that, Thon is a very emotional 46 hours. Jesse, Alex, and I and all of our friends share many memories together, supporting one another through it all, supporting our dancers. And a lot of these memories are filled with smiles and laughter, but a lot of happy and sad tears and a lot of hugs, which is why I want to thank all of you so much for allowing Alex and I to utilize this platform, and the whole racing community for supporting us through this cause. And I would love to wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2023. Please remember to never take anything for granted and tell the people around you that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Thank you all so much again, and have a good one.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Nightcap, the Big Block Modified Open Sets Top 8, moving to the big show tomorrow night. So, John, we're turning it up just another notch higher.
We are, and I think this is going to be the most entertaining one, because these cars are easier to switch lines and make different, not switch lines, but make other lines work than just the one lane. So this should be a good time here.
Yeah, I'm seeing currently 11 cars in the field. That means 3 will head home. Yes, Brian Lawson is at the top of the board in that 9 machine. with a 16.943.
Yeah, it's crazy to see him here in this B main because he's a guy that wins regular races with our weekly program here in these cars. So tells you kind of the gauntlet that took place earlier in the week.
Yeah, I know the last charity that I ran in, I was wore out by the end of the week for sure. Jesse Bandy in the 57, currently third quick, 17.006. Ross Correnta, Greg Boydell. Yes, I think the checkered flag is going to fall, John. We're getting ready for the final. B main. The field after this race will be set for tomorrow night.
Yep, and last chance for a lot of these guys, and I think this is going to be a real spirited battle for that eighth and final spot.
Bandy Lawson on the front row, Flair Richardson in row 2, Hit Goldner in 3, Ross Boyce in 4, Boydell Correnta in 5. Zach Chapman rounds out your field of 11 drivers. Man, it's hard to pick a favorite in any of these races. There is talent from the front to the back in every race we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and when you got the talent that's close together like this, and basically more cars than spots here, that's going to be a dogfight for that final transfer spot, I believe. In fact, if I was sitting anywhere from 6 on back, I'd be nervous. I think top 5 is where you can breathe. Earlier, I was saying you want to get a cushion of a car. I think with this one, I think you want top 5 to feel good about where you're at.
Looks like Pat Boyce still hasn't gridded yet. And we're going to go without him. So we're down 1 already.
Wow.
Pat Boyce misses the grid.
Maybe he's got a bid on the provisional. Oh, he's sitting in the pits. He just barely missed that start. So what will happen is they'll get the green flag and he'll immediately be able to roll down pit road, and he's going to immediately start praying for a yellow.
Oh, my goodness. That adds a little bit of pressure to that driver for sure. As the pace truck is off, we're getting ready to go green. Jack Hit on the front row with Zach Chapman. They make contact. Didn't take long at all. We're stacked up on the front stretch. It looked like Boydell. He's able to get away. Goldner in the 36. It looks like Goldner and Boydell have battled all night for transfer positions. As we kind of got nose to tail, Greg Boydell now back in a transfer position. Jack Hit at the front of the field with Jesse Bandy. Oh, man, I thought they were going 3 wide, John.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel good about myself if I'm in the top 5. I don't know what kind of chances I'd be taking in the top 3.
Boy, they are dicing it up. Zach Chapman on the outside of Jack Hit. Hit on the bottom in the 217. Chapman in the 72 on the high side. It is Chapman at the line. Still, Greg Boydell in the final transfer position. We also got a group of cars in front of them. Brian Lawson, Correnta, the 29 car of Billy Richardson. Man, there's some hard racing. There's some hard racing going on.
Oh, and Lawson got into the wall.
The 9 car of Brian Lawson, now he moves back to the final transfer. As he pulls up to the rear bumper of Greg Boydell. Jeff Falero stays side by side with Correnta. Looks like Falero got into the inside wall. Up front, we're going to get nose to tail. It is Chapman, Bandy Hit. Billy Richardson is nose to tail. Ross Correnta in 5th is in line. Here's where it gets dicey. Jeff Falero battling it out with Greg Boydell. That's for P7, 6 and 7. Brian Lawson is in the final transfer position.
And Connor Ross just got clear of Goldner here, Barry Goldner. So see if we can't run him down here.
On lap 8 of 20, we got plenty of laps to get it done. Up front, Chapman pulling away. Bandy, Jack hit. Let's go back to P8 with Brian Lawson and go on board. I wonder if that contact that he made hurt that handling on that car, John.
I think maybe it did. He's usually a guy that's, towards the front of these things, and it could be a combination of just being hard to pass. I mean, Boydell has got some pace, obviously, so he just found a lot of trouble on that first lap, and that's why both those guys are back there. And don't look now, but Connor is closing the gap on these two.
Halfway there, Connor Ross, as you heard, in that 35 car, is closing the gap. Let's look at the lap times. Last time by, Ross was faster than both Lawson and Boydell.
And those two guys know it too, so they're going to start racing each other a little harder because obviously, Lawson gets around Boydell, that's a spot to the good, and that'll make you feel a little better. And Boydell isn't going to want to give that spot up either.
You're looking at a this time by a 183 to a 404 between Connor Ross and Brian Lawson. So he is coming.
Oh, and Carenta.
Oh, contact. That will put Carenta on the bubble, I believe.
Yeah, it sure will. And Lawson's and Boydell just let a sigh of relief out here, but now the big question is Lawson damaged? He didn't, or not Lawson, but Carenta. I didn't really see him. I think it was more of a touching the tires, and now there's contact back up front with Hit.
The 29 and the 217 make contact. Man, you just got to drive a smart race. Ross Carenta is on the final transfer. He is pulling up behind the 9 car, Brian Lawson. We've been watching Connor Ross in that 35 car. He has been quick. He now pulls down low. Let's go back to live view. Ross tried to get underneath. That's going to...
Oh, Boydell.
Yikes. Boydell will be on the outside looking in. One bump, and Boydell loses. I think he was in 6th or 7th.
Yeah, and he lost big on that, and Connor Ross, who's been quicker than those guys, won big on that little bump.
Zach Chapman, you're not missing anything up front. Over a second gap between himself and Bandy. Billy Richardson is in P3. Jeff Falero, Jack Hick, Connor Ross, Brian. Oh, somebody into the outside wall. Carenta. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look. Carenta hard into the outside wall.
Wow. Ross is not a guy that you see make many mistakes, and these and you've driven these cars, Joe. Once that right front starts to climb a wall, you're a passenger.
Yeah, Carenta all by himself gets up into that outside wall, and it puts him in the back of the field, John. Coming off a 4, he just went out wide. You're right. Once that right front touches that wall, it's climbing it.
Yeah, and Carenta's not a guy that, to my knowledge, runs these. So that right there, I think, was just kind of being raw with the car, because Ross, I've raced around Ross in sprint cars, and the guy does not make mistakes. And then that one there was, and I just have to think it's probably due to minimal seat time in these cars, my guess.
So Zach Chapman, Jesse Bandy, Richardson, Falero hit your top 5. Connor Ross, Brian Lawson, Greg Boydell is now the last car in currently. He has Goldner and Pat Boyce is a lap down, I believe, or a few. I'm not sure which. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're about to wrap it up right here, John.
Yeah, and Pat was started from the pits there, and he did lose a lap, but it's go time here with basically a green-white checkered.
Greg Boydell in the 014. That is your final transfer driver. Green flag is out. Here we go, John.
Oh, and Barry Goldner climbed the wall.
Yeah, he went to the outside of the 014.
That's probably a little ambitious there.
The white flag is out. I'm surprised the caution.
Contact up front. Yeah, Flaro and the 29 made a ton of contact coming across the line there.
Greg Boydell still in the transfer position. It looks like Boydell will get in. Zach Chapman, Bandy Richardson, your top three. Wow, that was something. We'll get a word with your top three here momentarily after they get their Photoshop. John, thank you for hanging out with me in the booth tonight.
Oh, thanks.
As always, we've called one other race. Of course, it was an asphalt race, but man, it was fun
too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Well, not just one out. We did it for what, 3 weeks there, over with the Light Electric Company Xfinity Series, and we saw some good racing on that side of things. So, good times.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for hanging out with me, man. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully we do this again sometime.
Oh, I hope so. I love working with you, Joe.
As these guys try to get lined up, we'll see if we get interviews or not. Billy Richardson disconnected before his photo here. There is Zach Chapman in the waiting room, waiting on Jesse Bandy.
Jesse would be over in the Vanderbilt team chat.
There's Billy Richardson. We'll get a word with Billy Richardson here real quick. Billy, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Man, welcome to the big show. You drove that 29 car in. How was your night?
Up and down, up and down. Big block. My hat goes off to Alex Bergeron. He did an amazing job setting this thing up. Him and Felix Roy, truly two of the best in the business. Can't thank them enough for basically putting me in the show. I was absolute garbage last night and a whole lot better tonight.
Well, man, congratulations. You're in the big show. Who do you want to thank on that 29 for putting you there?
Yeah, I got to, of course, thank the girlfriend and the family. I got to thank Alex Bergeron, Rebecca Millette, Felix Roy, everybody at ABR Setup Shop for all that they do. Carol Bell at KB Performance Center, Bob Hackles Used Cars, PMC Race Cars, Jeff Eddy, 126 Racing. There's so many people. I know I'm forgetting some, but awesome to be in the show. Awesome to be talking to you and see what we got for tomorrow.
Yeah, man, rest up. That's going to be a long one. Congratulations.
Yeah, definitely. I got 50 laps before that and then another 75, so it's going to be fun.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jesse Bandy puts another car in the big show tomorrow night. Jesse, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you, Joe.
Congratulations, man. That 57 is going to be in the big block modifieds tomorrow night. How'd you get it done?
Man, just patience, again, throttle control and patience, and just lucky to have some guys in my corner that got some big block knowledge to help a rookie out like myself.
Yeah, man. How about you thank those folks on that 57 for getting you in the big show tomorrow night?
Absolutely. Everybody over at Vanderbilt, everybody that's helped me on the car there. Basically, Dirt Doctor Trucking, bio.com, and Fitzpatrick Photography. That's about it.
All right, man. Rest up. You're going to have a long day tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Zach Chapman in the 72 brings it home. P1. Zach, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Joe?
Good run. We'll keep this short so you can go celebrate that birthday. But good run into 72, man. How'd you get it done?
I felt like I've been pretty fast in these all week. I just been having some bad luck in the features. Was running the top 3 in both of them and just kind of had some bad luck. So hopefully I can get the hard charger in these tomorrow night.
Yeah, man, your arms are going to be sore too. Who do you want to thank on that 72?
Once again, man, all my teammates at Gambler, especially Connor on this one. We've been tweaking the setup in this, and we've got it running pretty good, I think. Aiden at Young Gun Creations, Andy at Cool Ray, you and John for broadcasting tonight. Appreciate it. Everyone in the league does. You guys do a great job. Roger for putting this together. And last but not least, like I say, my beautiful wife, it's her birthday, and I appreciate her. And thank God she's let me do this tonight.
Yeah, man, good luck tomorrow night. Drive her to the front.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right. John, that's it. Again, thank you very much. The night is over. The field is set. The only thing left is a ton of laps to run tomorrow.
Yeah, better get a good night's sleep and eat your Wheaties. Those guys that have qualified for them all, they are going to have a night.
Yes, sir. So thank you for joining me in the booth, John. We'll talk to you next time. For those of you out there that tuned in, greatly appreciated. And until next time, we'll be back on the air Friday night. So until then, we'll see you.